So the Robert Smith situation has brought us back to the can you be pro-black and have a non-black spouse conversation again. This conversation has come up on YouTube a lot. The major time it came up was during Lil Umar and the Boule Bird Roland Martin's kerfuffle, where I didn't even understand why people was all in their feelings because Umar simply stated he didn't respect black men with non-black spouses or whatever, as if his opinion mattered. Who asking Umar for his respect? Huh? I didn't understand why people got any feelings about that though. But we're gonna get on Umar too, because there's a lot of confusion in this conversation. But it popped off then when Roland had the back and forth with him, and he mentioned a bunch of people and whatnot, right? Then you had it pop up again, short like about a year or so later, when the Advice Show allegedly got exposed for having a non-black wife, which this is one of the biggest black YouTubers in news. And if you didn't do your due diligence or research and know that his wife was not black, you're an idiot. You giving him money, you donate to him, and if that's an issue for you, you're just stupid. Like, that's no words, right? Like, I knew his wife wasn't white over 10 years ago. In fact, fake ass Crystalline Karazin, super successful, unsuccessful shopper, wannabe swirler, back when her YouTube channel was normal and no black man pissed in her Cheerios, she was the one that actually, exposed it for me because she had a situation with the Advice Show's wife, and they went back and forth, and she was like, your wife, she pretty much said, because she heard her talk and she heard her accent and whatnot and knew she wasn't a black woman or whatever. But it came up again with that, and I guess he lost some subscribers or whatever, and I was going to do a video about that like everybody else, but I sat in the shadows and watched. But my only critique and beef, was how the Advice Show will go super hard on black men with white wives or who date white women, but his wife was not black. And I could not understand, for the love of me, how this dude could have that much animosity. Like, he was up there with some of these black females be butthurt when their favorite celebrities find out his wife ain't black. Like, he was like that on it. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't seen no black men on YouTube on it like that. And that's why I always troll this channel when it comes to that topic. Like, yo, you need to leave this conversation alone. Some dudes think because their wife is not white that they safe in this conversation. And there's a few of them online that feel that way, right? But yeah, I was like, yo, because it boggled my mind how he did an interview with China Fox. His non-black wife didn't come up. He interviewed Crystalline Cray Cray. His white wife didn't come up. His non-black wife, my better, didn't come up. He was with the female beta male coon vagina attractor, Cynthia G, and didn't come up. And then when he did an interview with Zaza Ali, the pro-black half-breed. And, well, she's not no more because she done with black people. But in that conversation, literally, she was telling the Advice Show, like, yo, this is what you can do to make dark-skinned black women with natural hair feel more comfortable. Black men, you have to be more complimenting towards them. And he's like, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm married. Like, no, nigga, that's not only why you can't do that. So you out there, you in the Walmart with your family, and waiting in the car, and your family in there shopping, and you see your sister, and you're like, how you doing, sister? You look beautiful with your nice curly hair, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, she take the compliment like on some Ash Curry shit. And then Aisha Curry. And then she goes back, and then she sees your family come out the car, the little black Mexican kids and your Mexican wife. What value does your compliment have to her, right? That was more of a reason why you can't do it, not because you're married, but because you just don't have a stake in that fight anymore. Like, it's not your responsibility to make them feel better about themselves. You got your own situation to deal with. But I understand how that didn't come up when he interviewed her. I guess they didn't know before they interviewed with him. But yeah, I just didn't understand how he would go so hard on black men and be anti that specific union, but thought that he was good. I remember another situation too where, because this is where the confusion gets in as well. Another person who went hard in the paint, going at black men with white wives specifically, with Corey Holcomb on 5150 show, right? So I'm watching this shit, And let me give y'all some imagery for that, though. Hold up. So I'm watching the 5150 show. This is years ago, and I don't even feel like finding the clip to bring it up. I don't really listen to them because their stuff is redundant and stupid. Like, it's not even worth watching no more. But Corey Holcomb go start going in on black men with white wives or whatever, standard in a pseudo pro-black community, right? And then instead of just stopping there, he kept going, and then he started mentioning, "Oh well, yes, my wife is mixed and she can pass." So his wife is very fair-skinned and she looks like she could pass for a white woman. And he talked about how he used to felt uncomfortable with her in public, and he would walk a little bit behind her, like some weird shit you don't like. Why would you be with a woman that make you feel that way? Like, huh? But he would say stuff like that, like, yeah, at first it was difficult. You know what I mean? She's really, really bright skinned. Her parents are white and whatnot. Well, obviously one of them, and it bothered him. But he still married her despite all that, right? This is Mr. Pro-Blackity Black comedian. But the part that got me fudged up was like, yo. So I'm like, I didn't know who Darlene was at the time, right? I didn't know who it was. I didn't know that was the chick that was on the album with Ice-T back in the day. I used to have a look at my mom's album cover. I didn't know that was her. So I'm like asking in the chat room, first of all, I was like, who is this chick? Some dude come up like I'm like, who is this chick? Because I noticed that like in these podcasts, like, you know, you heard Sarge crying about the skits online, how there's a bunch of light skinned women, whatever, and blah blah blah. Simple answer to that: black men who are in that position are promoting what they want to see. It's nothing more to debate. But I noticed in radio that there's a lot of setups where you got like a mixed chick, or it'll be a bunch of black dudes, but it'll be like a Mexican looking chick. And I can get demographically why that makes sense on the West Coast, whatever, which is where Corey Holcomb show is at. But even in like, you got DJ Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlamagne, two black men, and then the biracial Chinese black girl. Or you got Hot 97, where you got the white dude, black dude, the biracial dude, but you got the Latina chick up there, right? I just noticed that in radio, it just seems like a lot of sisters aren't in that space. It's a lot of mixed look. Even Big Boy, he's in Cali too, so I can get the context of the environment. Kumbaya, multicultural, multiracial, whatever. But even him, he did a segment going at the brother who played football, the African dude, who said something about light-skinned babies. And he up there going in on him, talking trash. The black woman is this, and that. But I'm like, wait, my guy, your wife ain't black. Shh. Just be quiet. Don't stop talking, dog. But he went in there and he did his little rant. Had the white girl on there co-sign it too. They were all disgusted and felt some type of way about it. I'm like, chill. He's not a black American. He ain't ADOS. I don't care. Let them handle it the same way the Jamaicans handled Usain Bolt when he was tripping. Right? But back to Corey Holcomb. I'm watching the show and I'm like, so who was Darlene? Some dude in the comment section talk about, you know, he didn't answer. And I'm like, he's like, she's black. I'm like, what? I'm like, if anything, she's mixed. So she's not black, whatever. But this is trying to argue back and forth with me, saying she's a black woman or whatever. I'm like, yeah, this dude's wilding out. But maybe he could be on that Hotepery stuff that the Advice show is on, because he tried to identify his wife as black too on some weird magical, what do you call that shit? Hebrew Israelite Power Ranger stuff, right? Whatever they be on, he tried to like use that argument to try to say his wife was black. Right, so like Harvey Superboy, Tariq Nasheed, and the Advice show are the biggest one drop rule black men on YouTube. That's just facts. Like, you got a little smidget of black in you, they calling you black, right? They've all done videos and made arguments trying to defend biracial, and 75%ers the other way around, meaning they damn near only got 25% black in them. They calling them black, right? Them the three biggest amigos on that issue, but yeah, I'm not arguing with this dude. So then I finally realized, oh, that's Darlene. Okay, that's Ice-T's ex-wife. She's on the cover of the magazine. She's on the show several times saying her heritage is Mexican. She got Native American in her. She said it several times on the show. But when the same segment where Corey Holcomb was talking about fuck black men with black wives, how you with the enemy, then goes on to admit his own self-hate with his wife, where he felt some type of way being with her because she can pass and she's fair-skinned. But then I'm like, there's an elephant in this room, right? Like, you got Darlene, who's in the middle of all y'all black men, who's only dated black men. Marcus Smiley, a former football player, or I forgot, I don't know if that's how you say his name, but I don't think it's not his name, Smiley. Marcus something. He'd be of the dude. Oh yeah, he's on the opposite end of Jason Whitlock on Speak for Yourself. That dude. And obviously, I see she was married to him for mad years. They got kids together, or whatever. But this chick clearly is a woman who dates black men, and I'm thinking like, so you coming hard at the black men with the white wives, then you go and you don't trust them, they can't be black, all that stuff. Then you admit your own issues with your own wife, which again I think is weird. But then you excuse Darlene's situation being there and try to say, and that's this weird thing where they think that because their wife is not white, that they somehow get a pass and they cool. She can come to the cookout, and that the same arguments ain't gonna be made against her. No, bro, you in the same boat. You ain't no better. But somehow these motherfuckers feel justified to speak in that space. Like, no, if your wife ain't black either, you should just shut the fuck up too. That's just my thoughts. But then that same dynamic happened on The Breakfast Club, right? Killer Mike was on there. He was on there talking about, unlike most of my critic, I married a black woman. Like that matters or means something. But okay, you married a black woman, cool. But he kept bringing that up and making that point throughout the entire interview when him and DJ Envy was going back and forth over school, which after listening to that debate several times, they really wasn't saying much. Like, Killer Mike, I believe it's in school choice. If Envy wants to send his kids to that school, he can do that. Like, mind your business. That ain't got nothing to do with you. But in that video, he excuses Angela Yee. I'm like, there's an elephant in this room. Again. You coming hard against that or saying you promote this and this is cool. But then when they say, well, Angela Yee's mixed, then like all that logic, all that energy go out the window. Like, oh, no, it's cool to have a byproduct of the situation, even though we don't co-sign the union that created it in the first place. Weirdo shit, I know, right? Again, it's all confusing, right? I'm getting to the point about can you be pro-black and have a non-black spouse. I'm getting there eventually, but we got to go down this rabbit hole first. But that happened there. It happened with, I think the same thing happened with D.L. Hughley when he was up there. Same situation. And I think he did make fun of her and call her Asian, though. But she tried to jump out the window and say she was black. But he made fun of her. He was trying to be a comedian or whatever. But the same conversation came up, though, about not being with other races and, you know, uplifting black women, this and that. And then, you know, there you go with the biracial Asian chick, Angela Yee, in the conversation in the black radio station, representing the black woman because she identifies as such, even with the last name Yee. But I still all I have to say is, like, you have these situations, like, even with Umar, who, you know, you heard his beef and his battle with Sinetta, or whoever that was that he was coming at, I don't know, dude name, how he called them all types of crackers and wish he was black, even though the phone wasn't, you know, on. But then he told the biracial black women, like, oh, you know, you can come to the cookout. You are African until otherwise. Like, he's going to accept you. But he did not give that same energy to all my light-skinned brothers. Shout out to G. Lowry, because Umar said you can't come. But if you had a sister that was biracial, she can come. Right? So all that is out the way. So you got all these different dynamics going on. And all these people speaking on things that probably shouldn't. And there's a lot of confusion in the conversation. I'm going to play this clip, though, because some of the most pro-blackity black people online is full of it. But we're going to talk about that. Can you be pro-black with a non-black spouse? And I'm going to give you my answer because I don't think we addressing the conversation the way we should. I just don't. Like, the question is, the wrong question is being asked. And I'm going to give my take. But let's check out this clip first and see what happens.
You are investing in the strength, power, and extension of the European empire. That's what you're doing. Yes. So that's the first reason. It is financial betrayal to marry or date outside of your race. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it is psychologically damaging to black female children. It is psychologically damaging to our little girls to see a black man hugged up with, loved up with, committed to a woman outside of his race when her mother cannot even find a suitable partner.
Game. That's not gonna fly around here. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. It's not about your feelings. It's dumb, gullible motherfuckers are eating the shit that comes out of her ass. You fucking pathetic ass Negroes. This is why the fuck we can't get ahead. This is why the fuck we losing. There's no consistency. There's no rules. You think you can fuck around and marry these white people and still be pro-black? Fuck you. That ain't the fucking
this kind of stuff I talk about and everything like that. And he was like, well, do you believe you can be pro-black and be with a white woman? I've been asked this question several times. So I'm going to go ahead and deal with it since it came to me in real life. And I was like, yeah, I do believe that you can be pro-black and still be with a white woman, or a black woman can be pro-black and be with a white man.
Specifically, if you're going towards people, and I've seen it many times, that, you know, a black man or a black woman will say, you know, will be very militant and will be on, you know, Facebook. It's even with the Black Panthers. Many of them chose very fair-skinned, very non-racially ambiguous looking women, and then can call themselves like leaders of the black movement.
I dated a white girl. Nigga, didn't I tell y'all I will fuck the shit out of Brooke Hogan? Yeah, I dated a white girl, nigga. Hell yeah. I'm not, you know, I'm very pro-black, but nigga, I will raise up the flag of Europe in the bedroom.
What's going on, be that thing. I think family's always first, so I make sure that when I'm going on a trip, my wife is here right now. And so it's like you have to be able to involve your family constantly when you're part of it.
Where's your wife?
She right here. We've been together for 17 years, high school.
The Caucasian?
He was about
he was like, I was like, here we go. Another pro-black brother with a white woman.
No, me and my wife been together like 17 years since high school, so it's crazy.
But I do love my Nubian white queens. I love a white woman. It ain't nothing like hitting a white woman from the back and watching your black dick go into that pink pussy and that white flesh. It ain't nothing like slapping a white girl's ass and leaving red marks on that shit. It's just nothing like it.
And there are people that that I love, that they're in interracial relationships. I feel, and I feel this the way I die, you cannot be for the black community having babies with non-black people. I just don't think that you're that down with it. Now I know that's just my opinion of it. So much that's my opinion that I was living in.
So we back. Yeah, that was my little clip of inconsistencies in the pro-black spaces on YouTube, where you got a lot of confusion, a lot of folks saying you can be. You got chicks that are super pro-black, even though, you know what I mean, they partaketh in the white race themselves. So it is what it is. You got a lot of confusion. You got a lot of people like Umar who are anti-IR but will embrace the children of that union. You got like Nikki Diller over there at Fly Nubian Queen, go in on brothers with non-black wives, but then, you know, her former co-host on Fly Nubian Queen was a product of that, and just all embracing her, calling her black woman, sister, girl, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's weird, right? But I guess I'll get into that can you be pro-black and have a non-black spouse bag eventually, you know what I mean? Give my take on it and what I think about it. But yeah, it's not one answer, honestly. There's a lot of inconsistencies, even from the people who claim to be pro-black. And then a lot of the people who claim that they're not no more, they're divesting and they're leveling up, so to speak, they still got a lot of input on what is and what isn't, even though they claim they're not. Like, if you're not, then don't you think you should exit that conversation? Don't you? It was funny, again, watching the Advice Show situation, which I admit he did say that he wasn't pro-black. And we're going to get into that too. But, yeah. So I guess I should answer the question, right? Can you be pro-blackity black and be in an IR situation? Dun, 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 dun. I've avoided this topic for a long time, but I guess I'll give my take. I believe that you can. Hold up, hold your horses, stop, wait, chill out a minute. Let me explain. That individual can choose to be pro-black. They can choose to do things that benefit their people. Their partner does not change who they are or their experience. And it sounds like a little millennial fuckity fuck. How do you navigate through this world? But I honestly think that the question is stupid and misleading, because the answer is you can. We know historically that is true. What have all the hangouts and all the conversations you've seen on YouTube stated? During the civil rights era, it was a bunch of dudes, you know, who might have married black, but they were, you know, side pieces were white. Dr. King, you had situations where, I don't even know how that matters, but the chick from the Grapevine, which I had in my clip earlier, said that they were getting with racially ambiguous women or whatever during the Black Panther era. Can you is not the proper question, because you can. It's been done. Historically, we know that it's been done a lot. So that's not even a question. Now, the better question should be, I have two, is it productive? Now, if you ask me that question, is it productive to be pro-black with a non-black spouse? Then I'll answer you no, because it's not productive. We see the drama. We see the people in their fields, and people who say, you know what, if you on that, I'm not going to follow you, which is their right not to. But these black men, these billionaires, the Byron Allens, who was in the same situation as the Robert Smith, I have a video about the topic, and it's people in the conversation actually debating, and it's going both ways. Some black folks are like, yo, and that's where I stand. That's where I think most black men stand. They are on some pro-black, kitty black stuff. It's like, yo, if it's tangibles be involved, if it's resources about to be made, I'm not about to cry about that. Yeah, it's not a good look per se, but we're not about looks. We about application, not implementation, not about imagery. We want implementation over the imagery. We can't respond and act like women over some of these things. Not saying that women haven't historically still fought and continued to help and donated and did their time. That was one of the points that the brother made in that Roland Martin panel, that his mom did feel some type of way when he would, you know, go out there and she would contribute and do her part, and then she would see some of these men with non-black wives. Get it. But my point is, like, black folks can't afford to tell a Robert Smith or a Byron Allen or even a Kanye when it comes to creativity in the game. Like, you can't afford to tell them, no, you can't come, no, you can't be in the limelight. Because that's what it is for some people. Some people say, you know, you could be pro-black, you just can't be in front in the limelight, and you can't be getting all this promotion for what you did. You can't tell them that they can't do that, though. You can only pull back your support, which, again, if you're a logical male, you're not doing that, right? But it is weird, because you do have some men who feel that way. I don't feel that way. I remember, and I'm going to do a video about this later, but, like, I thought about the Kevin Hart thing where it showed you his team. And I don't know if they were light-skinned women or if they were white women on the team. But it had me cognitive of what that looked like, right? And I was trying to do something similar with, like, bring the Cali fitness environment to New York, where I live at. But because it's snow all the time and it's, like, nothing here to do but work out and get in shape. Which people don't want to because the weather is so bad outside, they want to go out. But long story short, before I go through the video eventually, I noticed that in my gym and in the fitness game, period, it's a lot of swirling in the gym, right? That's going to be the title of that video. I'm going to do it. But I thought, like, damn, like, if I wanted to link up with a bunch of black men who are in my area, I'm not going out of my way to do it. I'm saying, like, the men who are at my gym or in my facility, I'm like, yo, I want to do some, you know, bunch of black men hanging out, working out, getting in shape, powerlifting, bodybuilding, whatever you do. And it was a lot of brothers, and I recognized the imagery of that would have been like, damn, a lot of these dudes, their wives not black. It is what it is. I'm cognitive of it, but it's not to the point where I'm gonna be like, no, I'm not fucking with them dudes, or I'm not gonna try to link up because their wives are not black. Like, I ain't that. You know what I mean, it is what it is. But that was just an example, like, because one of the arguments you have women keep saying is, yeah, I defend this dude and yeah, I defend that dude, and that's why we defend Serena and Tamron Hall and Eve and blah blah blah, right? But I'm like, black men don't have a choice but to defend the Byron Allens. It's an example of, first of all, black wealth. It's an example of you know the upper echelon, upper crusty crust, 1%. You don't shit on that. You don't throw that away, right? Despite the optics. But the argument is that as we defend them, and then y'all compare when the women, the situation y'all defend is not like it doesn't benefit the community. These black men still do things that directly target their communities. These white women these black women who swirl, they're usually marrying into the wealth, and they're doing things on his terms and what he wants. And you see that doesn't always translate until, things going back. Remember the situation with, Sarge brought this up a long time ago about how like Naomi Campbell and this other model, I don't know her name, but they're both married to like super billionaires, men, and yet they're complaining about the lack of diversity or lack of black access to women of color in the fashion industry or in the model industry. And it's like with these two men who are damn near worth, gazillion dollars between them, they still did not use their resources to promote y'all or to benefit y'all. And y'all out here talking about doing it yourselves. Even George Lucas got a black wife, but how often does he cast or put women that look like his woman in the roles? Why doesn't she get to be the it girl or whatever, right? So I'm saying for that situation, it don't translate to a benefit. It benefits you personally, individually, as in your family and your lineage. Cool. But the collective, no. But you see black men who are in this position at least attempt to come back and do things. The Byron Allen thing is so silly to me because he's suing on behalf of the black media as a whole, and that largely will benefit black women because they're in that space. They're behind the scenes in production and producing and whatnot. And those dollars that he would get the government to distribute evenly, because Al Sharpton like chicken and he took them deals and he would go around and throw out these companies saying, all right, you cool, you got a black face, you good. But no, Comcast and others were doing that to help Al Sharpton. That was the whole, premise of his lawsuit. But again, in that situation, that was going to benefit more black women than black men anyways. But there's still people complaining about who's married to. Like, this motherfucker on the Weather Channel. Stop complaining. Let it go. But I'm honestly at this point where it's like, okay, black men are not going to, I don't know what you think we could do to them because these men are billionaires, but we're not going to call them out, as Paris would say. Like, for what? What is there to call out? Like, his wife is not black. He made a decision. It is what it is. He still wants to contribute. Again, I can acknowledge that it's not a good look, but that look doesn't mean anything when it comes to application. We can't afford to shit on people who are at the cream of the crop in our community. You just can't. Many of the people who are whitewashed and don't want to help, y'all get mad at that too. Y'all get mad at the people who do get their shit together. They get their bag and they completely divorce the community, which honestly, that would be my recommendation. If this really is a thing, if this is really how we feel, and if we go, and again, I don't know how that situation with Robert Smith went. I saw the tweet and I saw people do videos about the one girl. I'm not tripping over that because I didn't see a lot of her complaints about it. But we do know that there's been others. It's not just him. It's Kanye. It's Danny Glover, Childish Gambino. And this is the thing too, right? We say that you can't be pro-black if XYZ, right? But 90% of the time, these motherfuckers never said they was pro-black. Childish Gambino never said he was pro-black. He, as a black man, used his art to create some beautiful imagery, and you taking it, oh, well, if you really felt that way, you should have married a black woman, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, 90% of the time, these dudes ain't never even said they was. They're just black men navigating through this world, probably dealing with their double consciousness or whatnot. and you feel that it was pro-black, so you give them that label when they never asked for it, right? The reality is these men who have non-black wives who are in Hollywood or whatever, they going to get the promotion, they're going to get the validation, they're going to get the imagery, it's going to be glorified and amplified, because that's just what it is. You can have, we can cry and complain about it and say it's not a good look and this and that, and Dr. Umar Johnson's 7 steps to why it's you can't be pro-black and why I don't respect you. None of that's relevant, right? Like, there are men who trying to build a school in the same situation he's in, and they got it done with their white wife. And I asked this question because I'm like, the whole situation with Nate Parker, which that really wasn't his main issue. That was just, issue 4 or 5. It was mainly the Becky, the rape situation was what it was. And then the homosexual people got on it because he said he didn't want to play a gay character. And then there's also the black women like, oh, his wife is not black, right? But with his situation, he's a black man with a non-black wife that made a movie that black men with black wives couldn't make. And that's the real dilemma that I have here. Is like, you're critical of the men who have not black wives, but what about the brothers who do? What about the black men who have black wives that told him, nah, bro, you can't make this movie. You're going to need a white savior. You need to go in a different direction. Like, we don't address that part of it. It's like, why is it that these men typically are doing these things or getting the spotlight? Because, again, just because it's promoted in the media doesn't mean that they're the only ones doing it, and I don't believe that. And I believe that other men say it just don't get the same limelight. For example, what Jesse Williams said in that BET speech, again, he never claimed to be pro-black, but y'all gave him that title because his BET speech made a lot of sisters moist in their panties. So y'all gave him that title. Then y'all consistency, I commend you on your consistency, sisters. Y'all, got rid of him as soon as y'all saw him leave his biracial woman for what looked like it was a white girl at the time. Yeah, dropped him like a hot potato. But again, he never claimed to be pro-black. He's an activist and all other stuff and trying to use his biracial privilege to speak on issues, but he ain't never claimed to be pro-black. But y'all put it there. So I don't really think the problem is not necessarily the people being pro-black or not. The problem is y'all take people who do things that help the community as a collective and y'all call it pro-black, and then you feel some type of way because that person's spouse is not black. Again, historically, we know that this happens. It's been our exception, right? Now, there are so many situations where I'm like, no, you can't do that, right? I remember, and I was going to do a video about this, but I never did it. Remember the girl who was playing in the snow? The African dark-skinned chalk sister who went to Toronto, and she felt some type of way because none of the dudes were hollering at her, right? And we all projected online what we thought about her, and we were right because we saw the interview with her and Angel Ramirez, and she confirmed a lot of things, other than the fact that she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs too. But in that video, my consistency was like, yo, once you play in the snow, stay in there, right? Right? You don't come back with the mixed kid talking about blah blah blah. Now I had a video I was gonna do, but it was a brother who was in a similar situation. He made this post that he had a lot of grammatical errors. And my guys, if you gonna say some shit in a predominantly black female space, have all your T's dotted and your I's crossed and your punctuations correct. Because them sisters was going in. Them six was like Nazi grammar police. Oh my God. But he basically was trying to say like, yo, I've been with a white girl. I'm done with that. I want to come home, so to speak. I hate when brothers do that. Like, shut the hell up. If you have that experience, keep that shit to yourself. But he was on some like, how do I do it? And the way he worded it was off because the sister was not feeling it. And I was like, just like, my guy, like, you already got the mixed kid. You tried to make it work with your wife. It didn't work out. And now you're trying to come back. My guy, you might as well just stay over there. Like, again, to be consistent, we told the sister in Toronto, like, yo, you played in the snow, you got the mixed kid, stay over there. Same thing to that brother. That might just be a better look for you. And likewise, the men who hop the fence, you produce mixed children, you're probably better off going over there, just linking up with other men, not just black men, but other men who have created these kumbaya multicultural situations and build it from that point on. And you could be like the brother from Blackish who, you know, got 3 shows about his family. The one was about his actual family. Then one spent off for his daughter to have her own show. Not his real daughter, but the daughter on the characters on the show. And now the wife has her own show. He's giving representation and he's building, right? And that's another thing. Sisters be saying that black men don't build, but black men are building. They just build on their own terms, not yours. That's what I don't think a lot of these sisters get. But, yeah, I'm ranting. I don't know if I took this video in the way I wanted to go, but yes, I think you can be, if you want to be, pro-black and have a non-black spouse. Do I think that's productive? No, I don't, because obviously these conversations are being had. I don't know how many followers the Advice Show lost when people found out his wife wasn't black, but that's the situation. I did have a clip. I'm not going to post it, but it was a brother whose wife was Filipino, and he was on the same shit. I might do a separate video with it. But he was on some, you know, like he was going hard and how much he loved. Like, I'm like, no, stop it, my guy. Stop. Like, stop. Let it go. But Yarima Karam, the dude who used to mess with boys but don't mess with him no more, the former incarcerated brother who'd be like, look it up, and talking all fast and shit. He interviewed him, man, and basically he was like giving him, like, yo, so how do you feel about black men who don't date sisters? And he was just like, man, I can't stand those guys. Those guys are horrible. And I'm like, go extra Derek Jackson and hire Capon. And I'm just like, that shit is all pointless and on deaf ears because, again, who you with? But he did make a good point that his argument was the reason why he is pro-black with a non-black spouse is because his wife is down for the cause and she's going to focus on him and his family. He worded it in a way that was convincing for, you know, it could be, obviously, to the chicks online who were complaining about this thing, not, or even the men. But his argument was that, like, yo, she knew the what she was taking on by marrying him and what their lives are going to look like. And she was cool with that, going with him to the hood. Because that's the argument that when these dudes hop the fence, the chicks ain't going to come back with them to the hood. That's not even true at all. I remember there was an argument about the situation that happened on Facebook, or it was a clip of some young millennial fuckity fucks about to gentrify Chicago. And it was in an area where there were nice brownstones that used to be for a lot of money, and it's all, you know, trash. So the white girl and her black dude move in the city, and like she's out there gardening, teaching these kids how to garden, doing all types of community stuff. Of course, the spaces I was in, that complaint didn't come up, but I know if it was online, it would have been you with the white devil, the cave bitch, whatever. And I'm just like, damn, like that was a situation where, of course, is a process of gentrification going on here, and people moving into an environment that's already dilapidated and reinvested in the community. But still, she came back to the hood with that man in an environment that's not safe. And I watched so many comments from black women who live in that area, or not that area particularly, but in Chicago, like, would you buy houses? Would you go back? And they're like, no. And you have brothers like, yo, you know what? I need to probably think about buying some of that up. Brothers who didn't even live in the city. They lived in different, like my one man lived in Detroit. And he was like, yo, man, I might have to go invest in some of them properties. But almost all the women said it's too dangerous, it's too ratchet, it's not cool, I'm not going. But somehow this brother got his redhead Becky to come back to the community with him. Whatever. But, yeah. You can be pro-black because you are black. Your experience does not change because of who you marry. Although who you do marry does matter. It is a political statement. It is deeper than just a piece of paper. I'm saying you can be because it has already been happening for years. So many of our civil rights so-called leaders have done just that. And nobody stopped them. Nobody took them off the pedestal. Nobody said you can't be here. Now we're having conversations about that. So that's why I'm saying, yes, it's not productive. It's not a good look. And moving that forward. Now, personally, if you are a brother who hopped the fence, I think you're better off hopping the fence and staying over there and finding other men in a situation and linking up with them to avoid all the fuckery. That's just how I see it. This is going to be too much confusion and drama to have your situation. And again, there are a lot of people who say, again, you can help, but you can't be in the limelight. You can't get the promotion. You can't stop them from getting it. Like, the mainstream media is going to promote it, especially if they're in the business. That's just a given. It's going to happen. So Robert Smith is going to get looks, and his white wife saying the next woman is going to be seen. Same with Byron Allen and all the other black men in that situation. But anyways, I'm ranting on. That's my video. Right? Could you be pro-black? Yeah. But the question shouldn't be, could you be? The question should be a discussion, move forward on why it might not be productive, what it looks like. Like the situation that happened in Botswana, where the African dude went to Europe and tried to bring back the white woman to Botswana. Like, that's some shit you get killed for. Like, you don't do stuff like that. Like, that's obviously, like, no, my guy. Like, that's when so much power and wealth is in your hands. You don't, like, your own personal shit don't matter. You do what the rest of the damn African leaders do, is they marry their black wife and they have other whoever they want concubines, but you don't bring back the white woman from Europe to Africa and got all them people who following you and you supposed to be their leader. Nah, that's foul. You don't do that. Like, that's just silly, right? For obvious reasons. Like, again, people get murdered for stuff like that. Like, your people not gonna trust you doing stuff like that. You're not about to bring some outsider in and let them be on a pedestal and be, you know, at the first, I don't know how they White Houses are, whatever they call it, but in the first mansion with the white woman. Like, nah, my guy. But that did happen, though. He did it, and it caused drama. And I didn't watch the movie, and I don't know what happened with the story, but I'm sure it caused him a lot of issues with leadership in this country. But I'm out.